Hello and welcome to another ICO Hunter video. This is your host, Mohammed Walker, on the CryptoWalker show. So before we get started, I would like to ask everyone to make sure to press that like button if you like my content and to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Today we will be talking about Repux. Repux. What is Repux? And why am I interested in investing in uh, Repux? So before we get into Repux, really we have to touch on the data industry, or what's known as big data. So I'm a firm believer in AI, big data analytics. They are the way of the future, especially considering the digital world in which many of us um, work in. So to talk about big data, a lot of people don't know about big data, or what's the importance of it, or why do we use it, or who uses it. So just to get an overview of the big data market, we can see here that the revenue from big data and business analytics worldwide in 2018, we're looking at about 168 billion US dollars. That is the size of the market. In 2020, we're looking at going up to 210 billion. Now, even just looking at this information right here, this website Statista is providing me with data that is allowing me as a YouTuber to find information or data or that may be valuable to the people who will watch this channel. Also looking at the global big data revenue by segment, we're looking at professional services account for 10,000. We have 10,459, a million. Computer, what is that? 5 billion. Storage, 4 billion. Then we have apps and analytics, 2 billion. SQL, 1,950 million. Cloud service, data management network. And Hadoop is one of the major applications that runs for that is used for analyzing big data. Now, the next question is, in what sectors do they most use um, uh, big data? First, we're looking at the banking sector. So we're looking at a lot of financial data. So we're looking at it has the biggest market cap of about 13%. Discrete manufacturers, 11%. Process manufacturers, federal and central governments use about 7.6%. Professional services, 7%. And finally, a whole host of different industries that use up to 51% of uh, big data. Now let's get back to what Repux is doing. So let's say, for example, you are a company that's building a bot, AI, artificial intelligent bot that allows you to predict the market movement. So in order to do this, you will require a lot of information, a lot of data. You will need both raw, unanalyzed data as well as analyzed data. And this is one of the things that Repux is providing, especially with its focus on SMEs. Um, it's providing a place where you can connect your API to purchase using the Repux token. You can purchase data or that will connect to an API that will allow your bot to analyze financial data that will allow it to predict certain market outcomes. Now, um, uh, generally speaking, big data is um, broken down into four key sections. The first sections are big data, which include descriptive, which just gives you raw past data about user behavior. Secondly, it provides diagnostic data that tries to allow you to understand why certain events took place and what were the market conditions which allowed certain events to take place. The third part of big data, which moves into data analytics, is the predictive um, data, which analyzes the data and allows you to make predictions about events that will come in the future based on past events. And finally is the prescriptive data. And prescriptive as a part of data analytics, which will where this is where artificial intelligence is integrated to give you suggestions about what actions you should take, such as where to place a banner on a website, or what kind of um, websites should you place your banner on, or what kind of websites should you advertise on. So this information can be very valuable. Now, a lot of people don't use um, big data or big data analytics yet. Those people will inevitably be left in the past. So when you look at people like Google, companies like Google or Facebook, and you say, wow, these are great um, free services that are providing a lot of free services to me, which which improve the quality of my life. Well, how do they make money? They make money off of selling big data to advertising and marketing. So Google Maps tracks the data about your behavior, where you go, where you come, where you meet, how long do you spend there. And this information is valuable information for different advertisers or businesses who want to be able to target you to some point. Um, so that's really a description of the whole um, of the data big data industry. Now, what Repux is doing is providing a decentralized blockchain based um, big data analytics marketplace for SMEs. Okay, so in simple terms, if you are let's say for example, you own a Shopify store and you want to have access to data. Now, that data is really expensive to get from Google or to get from Facebook or to get from any of the other major providers of um, data. Now, what you can do as a Shopify store owner, for example, you can earn money by plugging in to their API and providing data, plugging into their API and providing the, the the marketplace with data. Of course, this data is secure and anonymous, so they won't be able to know exactly who you are, but they will be able to see the data about your users, how they shop, their behavior, and so on and so forth. So you can sell that data. Then what you can do is you can use the Repux tokens that you've earned to either sell it for Bitcoin and cash out if that's what your approach is, or you can use those Repux tokens to then again go back into the market and purchase data from other vendors about information that might be relevant to you. Now, in terms of information, they provide really two categories of information. Of course, they break down further, but the two main categories are raw data. So if you have your own AI or you have your own team of developers who are looking at taking raw data and making sense of it for your organization, then that's a path which you can take. Otherwise, you can use the package data, which is kind of structured data that are packaged in a certain way that allows you to, it's sort of like a report format that's cleaned up, polished, and made accessible to the average individual. So this marketplace, Repux marketplace, has huge potential. It's much cheaper than any of the other major data providers. It's much more secure. And really, what really gets it for me is the fact that, and this deals with blockchain in general, is that it provides an immutable, excuse me, an immutable blockchain that can be checked, and that can be ultimately, that creates trust within the network. So when you're getting data, you don't know. Generally, if you're getting data from a regular data provider, you don't know if they've played with the data, if they've um, postured in a specific way that makes certain information appear to indicate certain outcomes, which may or may not be true. So with Repux, really the data is that there is no particular body that is interested in and being dishonest, because honesty is rewarded through Repux. So this is really an important point for me, that it's creating a trust. It's creating trust within the Repux, within the data industry. So this is really important for me. So moving on. Um, what else we wanted to talk about? So the benefits. So what are the benefits of using Repux or buying their token? So if you're a speculator and you're simply hoping that these tokens will increase in value, I'm extremely sure that yes, these tokens will definitely increase in value. But I'm not a big speculator. I'm more of a fundamental guy that needs to believe in the product, believe in the team. Um, so, so yes, there's a speculative aspect which may prove to be very profitable, but the other benefits are your ability to earn through. So if you're a shop, you own a Shopify, or you own some kind of a website, you can actually earn money. This can create another stream of income for you by simply plugging your um, website into the Repux API. Um, your data is secure, it's private, and most importantly, it gives the little guy a chance. The guy with the small business, the guy with the new startup, is now able to access data and information and make sense of this data and information in ways that were never available to them before. So this is a real competitive advantage that puts all entrepreneurs and all people who are participating in startups on the front line with the major corporations who can afford to have data departments and who can afford to hire many developers and so on and so forth. So this is a really interesting project. Looking at the pre-sale goes up until sorry, it started on the 17th of November. Token sale 6th of March all the way, and it goes all the way up until the 5th of April. The total number of Repux available, or the total supply of Repux, is 500 billion, which is a huge number. The price of one Repux in the pre-sale is roughly 20 20 cents. The hard cap, the amount of money that they're looking to raise, 33 million, and the soft cap is a total of $1 million. They accept Ethereum as well as Bitcoin. They also accept wire transfers, but if you're doing a wire transfer, you may want to hurry up, because it takes 3 to 4 days for a wire transfer to be cleared. So that's really, really interesting. What else do we have here? Just going to go through their white paper. So we can see here in 2016, the companies, so tech giants such as Google, Facebook, Snapchat, etc., they invested between 20 and 30 billion during the year 2016, while startups, small businesses invested 6 to 9 billion, and this number is definitely going to change. I also predict that the tech giants will be interested in getting in on this. They may not provide their data, but they may be looking to also purchase data. So I think that provides a lot of um, a huge market for this. Now, I wanted to look at their structure because some things were very interesting. Yeah, here we go. So we're looking at this is their structure, the overview of the structure of Repux. So they have application layers where developers can build applications that are relevant to a specific industry, plug those applications into the API. Now, the API layer the API connects to the decentralized layer, which is where your data will be stored. It will be stored in SIA or storage. SIA, if any of you, also IPFS. If any of you are familiar with any of these are um, blockchain-based storage platforms that allow information to be um, broken up into little pieces and spread all across the network, which makes it very hard and expensive to conduct any kind of denial of service attack. Also, it has a decentralized logic layer that's based on the Ethereum platform EOS, and they're currently working on their own custom uh, decentralized logic layer. And when these are all combined, then this is where you have your Repux value layer. Great stuff here. Um, I just want to touch on IPFS. IPFS is Internal Planetary File System. It's a protocol that designed to create permanent and decentralized method of storing and sharing files. What are the best benefits of IPFS? And this is the same with SIA or storage. They define content addressing file systems. It coordinates content delivery. It has file system and mounting capabilities. It can be accessed through common protocols such as HTTPS, while guaranteeing integrity through the hash address content system. Connection can occur through many network protocols. And there's no central point of failure. So basically your information or the data is spread out so thin that it cannot be attacked in any one specific place, where some of these other data provider systems, they're as their centralized nature allow them to be susceptible to attack. Now here they just provide a bunch of lines of coding, which you can find more about on GitHub. And finally, I wanted to look at, so this is just dealing with the pre-sale. Obviously, you get the earlier you get in, the better the discount you'll get. So the pre-sale was looking at 10 cents, while towards the end you'll be looking at what is this 2%? Sorry, 20%. No, sorry, 20 cents, not 20%. 20 cents per Repux token. So they do have a beta software that's up and running. You can check them out, download it, try it out. It's pretty interesting. I may do my next video on that. I wanted to look at the team because the team seems to be a very strong team that has a lot of experience in this field, over 60, 70 years of experience in things like I mean collective experience, not where's this team? Hold on, here we go. Yeah. Okay, here we go. The Repux team. So here, the Repux team, you got this Marcin Wellner, 20 years, Tomas Teben, 10 years, Alexandra, 10 years, Daniel Kamar, 5 years, founder 20 years, complete USA company, 10 years. So yeah, you have a lot of guys with a lot of experience in this field. Now, I would also like to talk about the risk aspect of getting involved in something like this. Now, one of the well, there are two key risk. Actually, no, there are three. I should write that third one down. So there are three aspects of risk that's involved if you are thinking about getting involved with something like Repux. Firstly, everybody knows we've been in a bear market. There's been a lot of speculation, a lot of um, uh, condemnation of Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. So we've been in a bear market. 2000, a lot of the ICOs that launched during December of 2017 or even started in 2018 have fallen below the ICO price, and a lot of people are picking up cheap coins because they're able to get them below ICO price. So this may be something you might be interested in waiting it off if you're willing to take that risk. The other thing is with adoption. So we don't have a lot of adoption within the blockchain industry. It's very new. There are a lot of people coming on board, but those who come on board still have a lot to learn. They don't trust it, so they don't know how to trust it. So there's a lot they um, that they're skeptical about, and therefore a lot of people not really willing to take that jump of faith towards blockchain. Eventually, they will, so it may take a year or two for your investment to completely to actually see the kind of profits that you're willing that you're looking at. Um, just for the simple case that people are not yet into blockchain and people are getting on board, but it's moving very fast. I mean, 2017 cryptocurrencies was the fastest and biggest growing asset class in the world. Nevertheless, it still has a lot of space for growth. Thirdly, the third risk that's involved in this particular Repux of investment is education. People are not educated about data and data analytics and artificial intelligence. When you talk to people about artificial intelligence, they bring up things like Singularity Net Sophie bot that's going to take over the world and find a substitute for humans, which is generally the kind of science fiction projection people have about artificial intelligence, where that is not necessarily the case. Artificial intelligence is being applied to many industries in many ways. Also, with education going into data and the importance and the need for data, um, uh, or big data analytics, a lot of people just not aware. They're continuing business as usual, but what will inevitably end up happening is they will fall behind because their competitors will be making better decisions based on better information. Of course, the more information you have about any given topic, the better you're able to make decisions. So I think over time, people will realize, hey, we're falling behind because we don't have enough information about user behavior to allow us to make the right business decisions for our company. So with over time, this realization will create a huge need for this particular marketplace. Anyway, this is the end of the video. Again, I hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from you in the comments bar. Please leave lots of comments. If you don't agree with anything that I said, or if you have anything to add, please leave it down there. Let's have a discussion. There are no professionals in this industry. Make sure to do your due diligence. We're all learning together, and I'll see you on another episode of the CryptoWalker Show.